So look, I'm in the middle of recording right now. I just thought that I'd take a break. I'll probably put this at the beginning of the video. Um, this isn't a tutorial. I explain what my code does a lot just because it helps me figure it out. And a lot of the time I talk like I'm filming a tutorial. I'm like, okay, so what we're gonna do now? If you're looking for a tutorial, I'm sorry. This is the wrong video. Okay, so basically stuff happened, school happened, extracurricular activities happened, and I have around 30 hours to create a fully functioning game. So, what do I do now? I'll tell you what I do now. We're going to make a game called One Night in Darkness, because the goal here is to have to draw as few assets as possible. And what better game to match that general theme than a game where everything is in pitch black for most of the game? Exactly. So, yeah, in terms of art, the game is not going to excel, but I don't really care, honestly. I've drawn some assets. It's time to make an office. And hopefully it should be pretty easy to implement scrolling. Funny story, I've actually never created a game with scrolling in Game Maker, so I mean, I know how to scroll in third person, but not at all in first. So let's hope that this doesn't take up an obscene amount of time. Let's use a... what's the best way to do this? Oh my god. What did I do there? What the heck is that? That's not code. Oh god. Okay, I know that this is messy code. You don't have to tell me, okay? It works, okay? I have never done this before, so you're gonna have to cut me some slack here. I feel like that's gonna be wrong. Yep, okay. Yeah, that'd be why. Oh, that's probably why, because it's always less than 2,000. Why can't I type correctly? Why did I not do this in ClickTeam? This would have taken 30 seconds for me to do in ClickTeam. Would have been so stupidly easy to do in ClickTeam. But you know what? That's not the point. The point here is to challenge myself. And I guess I'm challenging myself because I'm doing something that I've literally never done before. Oh yeah, it's not gonna show up if you don't put it in the scene. God! Is there just like a box that I can check? ClickTeam has a box. Come on, show me a box. Okay, listen. Something called the GUI exists. It does something. I don't understand it. So, get off my back. It's just not gonna move, okay? It's just gonna stay here. Like the little turd it is. That's code. And then... There. Eventually it'll just die, I think. Yeah, cool. And if you missed the prompt, shut up. Nobody cares. Also, you like the nifty little thing how I didn't give this game a loading screen? So now, what we're going to do is we're just gonna make a new layer, okay? We're just gonna make a new layer, and this is going to be our camera. And by that, I mean there will be no cameras. The whole camera interface is just going to be this, this quirky, non-existent interface where all it really is you press a button and it tells you if someone's in that room. Because that's easy, and that's what I need right now, okay? Image alpha equals 50, 30. Awesome, so now we just have static that doesn't move with the screen. Isn't it disgusting? Don't worry, I hate it too. I need to breathe, I'm getting flustered, and it's making me do really badly. Just call a function that doesn't exist yet. I love how it just doesn't. Oh, it's because I didn't put the object in the scene! I don't want it to scroll while the computer is up, because I'm too stupid to actually make the UI center. So this is the very, very bad fix that I came up with. You see? Epic. I've created a chunk of entirely useless code on its own. This does pretty much nothing except for look pretty, I guess. Except for we're going to create a couple new objects. I'm going to make a camera map, and that's going to have the sprite of the map assigned. But we need to reset that sprite because right now it's going to go at 30 frames a second and it's going to look like that, and that's gross. We want it to be 0 frames a second. We don't want it to move. No, that's the wrong layer. And we just need to add another one, obj_instructions. And this is going to be our instruction sprite that I made. Isn't that nifty? Wait a minute, I'm so stupid. I can just hide and show the layer. Now, it just hides and shows the whole layer at once so that I don't have to deal with all this crap instead. Oh my god, that's bad. That's bad, that's bad, that's bad. Maybe I got too confident. Maybe it doesn't actually work. I thought it would work. Okay, I mean it this time when I say that I've actually designed a working scrolling and camera system decently well. So, I mean, yeah, it works, I guess, but it's bad. And to answer the question that I know you were thinking, yes, this is what every school group project with me ever has felt like. I'm very sorry to anyone that has ever had to deal with me. Let's see if this works. God knows it probably won't, but, you know, oh well. Does this work? What? Stuff I make doesn't normally work. I'm kind of surprised. It's kind of weird. I am now going to take a break for the sake of my own mental health. I've sat down and done this for an hour straight, and I feel like I'm going to scream. I'll be back at some point. Okay, I took an hour or so. I feel slightly less unhinged, and I mean not for long because we're going to work on AI now. So I'm going to create an AI manager object. Really all this is a placeholder so that I can create the system that checks the cameras, and then once that is actually done, the cameras are done, I will actually make an AI. Alright, so all that I'm going to do with the AI manager for now, I'm going to have 3 characters, and all 3 I'm just going to set to 0. You heard it here first, we've got the most original names of all time. What we're going to do here is call a function that takes in the argument of what camera you're checking for, and then all it does is check for each animatronic AI to see if that AI is equal to the camera, and if it is, it knows that the AI is in that room, and if it's not, it knows that it should check the next one, and if any of them are in that room, it knows that the camera is not empty. And that's all it's checking. It's not checking how many people are in the camera, it's just checking if the camera is an empty room. This might actually be a really bad system now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, so all this does, again, it's just checking for each one of these, and it only requires one to be present in the room to return true, otherwise it returns false. By the way, 60 frames is a second, and this is the number of frames that it takes to count down, so this is 3 seconds, this is 5 seconds. Nobody cares! Okay, it should say that this room is occupied. Perfect. The issue of stopping the countdown. I have an idea. Say that you're in camera 3, right? You start a scan, you move to camera 4. Obviously, it's not going to still say scanning when you're in camera 4, but if you move back to camera 3 in the middle of the scan, it knows that it's still scanning camera 3 and will still return results, even if you leave midway through the scan. So, Q, move over to camera here. Excellent. Okay, good morning. It is 9:43 a.m. I had to stop working yesterday because the biggest storm this year just decided to randomly hit. That's also why I'm not at school today. Because it just heckin' stormed so dang intensely, that they're like, yeah, no. But I have power back. Well, I always had power, but I was, you know, there's that whole thing where I didn't want my computer to get fried. But, you know, today we're just going to do a few simple things like, AI. Then just wrapping it up with time, maybe a system with power, and then characters with jump scares, and then a few screens to just make the game look prettier depending on how much extra time I have. Given that I have nothing to do today, I'll probably have a little extra time. We should be good there. Okay, actually, to begin with, what we need to do is set all of them to 2, because for this to be as easy to program as possible, their starting location needs to be 2. I know that's stupid, but I kind of like, you know, have a day to work on this, so we're going for easy despite being inefficient. Okay, I think that this is an AI. Is it an AI? I don't know. Here's how we're going to test it, though. We are going to make it so that we have a debugger in the top right corner that's going to tell us where Michael is at any particular moment in time. And if our AI works, we're just going to copy and paste it for all of the different animatronics, okay? The randomness of the AI will make it so that they're not all following the same path anyway, and I'm crunched for time. And we're just going to make it so that Michael's AI is extra zoom, which is my stupid way of saying we're going to speed it up so that we can test it more quickly. Oh! Perfect. This is gonna shock you, but I messed this up. Alright, perfect. So the 2 times that we ran, it actually worked out about as well as it could, because one time he went to the left door and one time he went to the right door using the exact same code. That shows me that the random number generation is at the very least not broken. Now really all we have to do is duplicate this across several different character AIs, changing it slightly for each one, and that's boring, so I'll either speed this up or cut it out entirely. So they all start at 2, but now they should just kind of go off in totally separate directions. Hey Brady, cut this out! Okay, that's not a good example because they all went to the exact same place. Thanks guys, you're really helping me out here. Okay, that's a better example. Much more random, definitely random in the path that they took to the door, and you have to think they were moving at 1/6 speed, and I might even change it more so that it's slower from the initial change. But yeah, for now, I think that that's good. I think that AI is mostly figured out except for the element of the AI for checking whether or not the door is closed. And to do that, here's the nifty, cool, neat thing. I have to make closable doors, and I haven't done that yet. So, time to do that, I guess. Okay, so basically I've done something incredibly stupid. I realized more or less that the game was fundamentally flawed or, you know, whatever. Get off my back, okay? Point is, I had to delete one AI because to have 3 characters have the same AI, I'd have to change a whole bunch of stuff about the game, and it's easier to just add a 3rd unique character. So that's what we're going to do. Keep in mind, this game has to be submitted by 5 p.m., and looking at my clock, you can see that that's in 3.5 hours. I've done a lot off camera because I work better when I'm not describing what I'm doing. As you can see, a couple of hours have passed. I've created doors, AI, and a better looking camera system. So I will show you what that looks like right now just to give you a quick progress update. I don't know why I'm not doing this live or anything. This is the AI debugger. It's just kind of vibing in the corner. Yeah, the doors don't have an animation. I just don't have time, okay? And then I made it so that you click this thing instead of pressing E to open the cameras. Crap! Okay, so I blacked out, and when I woke up, I had a system that drains oxygen when you use doors and then refills it when you're not using doors, because I feel like this place is like underground, I guess. Please don't question it, because God knows I don't know what I'm doing, so don't even try and figure it out. It's dumb and stupid, and I realize that, but I have 3 hours and 20 minutes now, so Whatever. Okay, I drew a bunch of assets, I worked on the game a little bit. I just kind of, I prettied it up a bit, added the oxygen meter and time now kind of go together well, and there's a desk now, and I'm working on an AC mechanic, which is, yes, it's basically the music box. I needed an idea for this third character, and time is draining fast, okay? This is not going to be the best game, not going to be the most original game in the world, but I'm trying here. Also, the neighbor is mowing his yard, so I'm sure that you can hear that really well. Thanks, Carl! Okay, so I'm going to make an indicator here that's going to show the current temperature. If it gets past 80, this certain character attacks, and you have to hold it to get it back down to, like, something reasonable, like 65, I guess. So, I had pretty much given up on recording audio at this point. I'm editing the video right now, and this part just feels really awkward without commentary, so you can see that the AC temperature is going up. It's not really complicated. How's everyone's week been? Okay, now that I've got all of that figured out, I'm going to add jump scares to the game briefly off camera, because I don't want you to see what the characters look like. Alright, well, now that we have accomplished pretty much all of the programming that the game needs, it's time to work on sound design. And by that, I mean I'm going to download a bunch of sounds from Treesound and then edit them in Audacity so that they're not exactly pirated, I guess. Also, this might be a little interesting because I've never actually made a game in Game Maker with sound. What am I doing? Well, gang, it's been fun, but now it's time for the part of the video where I sloppily throw together some pictures of the game page and voice over the end because I wasn't recording it. So basically, I submitted the game 2 minutes before it needed to be done. I only had a little bitty breakdown over stereo audio in GML, but in the end, I got it figured out. And I am completely aware that I will not be winning the Gamejam, but hey, I had fun, and I learned something new. And, like and subscribe, please.